Java Introduction and Basics by Zeveso. Video number 1. Warning, this will be fast and this will be raunchy. So if you don't like either, get the fuck out. What is Java? If you don't know what Java is, use fucking Google or YouTube. I don't give a shit. But use one of them. It is a great language. By far my favorite. I moved to it from C++. Strongly suggest learning it. It's multi-platform. I mean, come on. Basically, it's a object-oriented programming language that was developed by James Gosselin, who worked at Sun Microsystems at the time. Java ended up getting moved to Oracle. It's cross-platform, like I said before, which means you can use Windows, Linux, or Macintosh with it and not have to change the code unless you're doing something like a file system. It's very similar to C and C++ because its syntax was derived from that. It's fairly strict, which means you can make mistakes fairly easily. Alright, let's go and move to variables. Programming uses algebra. If you don't like algebra, get the fuck out. Let's go ahead and just look at lines 6 through 20. Don't worry about the rest. We'll get into that later. Let's say we have a variable. We name it x. We want it to be an integer, so we put int in front of it. Just like on line 8. We assign the value 2000. We put a semicolon to tell the compiler to end the line and go to the next one. And then we assign x to b, b to var, var to my var. Then we take x and we get rid of the 2000 on line 13 and we assign it 82. Then we do x, which is 82 plus 22 is equal to 104, which we assign to x on line 15. Then we go ahead and print it out in the output for the IDE, which you should have already gotten, but if you don't, wow, you really didn't listen before, and get the fuck out again. So it prints out 104 in the output. On the next line, line 18, it does the same thing with my var, but that time is 2000. Last thing I would like to tell you is that the double slash is for comments. You can write anything there. It's basically like footnotes. Byte, short, integer, long, float, double. Those are all for numbers and they hold different values. Byte is going to hold anything that a computer would hold numeric wise. For this example, 83 is capital S. That's what we give as a byte. So you'd have to do character. So if you wanted to print it out, you do system.out.println and then you do character 83 or my byte and you would get the capital S. And that's on the ASC2 chart. If you don't know what that is, check it out. It's called Google. Then we have short, which holds anywhere from negative 32,000 to positive 32,000. Don't ever use it. I don't. I'm just saying that integer is shorter than short. And it holds a higher value. That's why I use it usually. And then if I really need to hold a big number, I usually use double. It's probably good practice to use the smallest you can use, but I don't use good practice sometimes. And you shouldn't either, for the sole fact of being practical. But you should still know it. And those are the different values it holds. I'm not going to go through them all. Also, we have booleans, which is true or false. So you say, let's say you have did when. You start out with did when equals false, and once it hits a certain point, it has an if statement. It says if x is equal to 10, then set did when to true. That's where you would use a boolean. Then you have characters, which holds anything that would be on your keyboard. You do need the two little shitty parenthesis things. I don't know what the fuck they're called. Don't want to know, so fuck off. Then we have strings, and that holds a sentence. Anything you want to put in there to print out or to edit, let's say you get text from a text box and you want to encode it or encrypt it with like AES or something, then that's where strings would come in use. Operations. We're just going to kind of go through this. You need to learn this to do anything that you want to do with a computer as far as programming goes. So we are going to start out with a number. We're going to call that number as a variable, and we're going to make it an integer. We're going to make it equal to 0. So we're going to take that number and add 7 to it. So now number is equal to 7. Now there's a different way we can do this that's more efficient and takes up less space. Number plus equals 2 is the same as writing number equals number plus 2. Very useful. We also have number plus plus. Now what that is used for is to increase it by 1. And that does it after that line of code. If you were to do it before, then it would do it before. So let's say you were to do let's say you were to have a number and it's equal to 9 now, and you were to do a system.out print number, and then you were to do plus plus, it would print out 9. But the next time you were to print it out, it would print out 10. Now if you were to do it before, it would print out 10 that time and 10 the next time. I'll show you later. Minus minus takes it and decreases it by 1. You're also going to need to know divide, minus, and multiply below. Fairly easy. You should be able to get this. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do our first program, Hello World. We're going to have the package Java app. You can name it whatever. Then we're going to have our main class with our static main void. Keep in mind, if you ever use a variable outside of the static void main, you're going to have to put static in front of it. I'll explain that later. Either system.out.println hello world. That is how you say hello world. Then we do our string my hello, and then we do comma, which lets us put another variable without having to put string on a new line. And we put world, and then we do system.out.println my hello plus, which concatenates it together, space concatenate or plus, or however you prefer to word it, my world, and it's going to print out the same thing as line 6 on line 9. And it does and then to make my hello equal to hello world, then you're going to do my hello plus equals space concatenate with my world. If you were to look at line 12 printed out, it would be the same thing as lines 9 and 6. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please remember that I am a total jackass, and I am more than willing to help you. I will never quit on you, but I will be a sarcastic asswipe the entire time, and I hope you like it. Peace.